Your most recent article, I believe, you state the Giants only have themselves to blame for foolishly believing Eli Manning still has it, and now they'll pay the consequences. Do you think
That's
that they
correct.
looked at this as that this was a 1 year or a year to year, where if Eli had it, they had a chance to compete for the Super Bowl or make the playoffs here, and that's what they were rolling the dice on?
I think they believe that Eli could be their quarterback for at least these 2 final years of his contract, so that would go through next season. I believe that, what was interesting is that a lot of people thought that they would retool this roster and look towards the long-term future, especially with the quarterback class you were looking at in April. But what Dave Gettleman did, it was very clear when he traded for Alec Ogletree, the linebacker in his late 20s from the Los Angeles Rams with a big contract coming with him. It was very clear that Gettleman had a different thing in mind. It was, we didn't do right by Eli Manning last year. We need to give him better pieces around him, both on offense and on the defensive side of the ball. And the idea was, let's go and win one more Super Bowl with Eli Manning. Let's give him the best chance for one more run. But not a wise decision based on where his talent is at this point in his career and how much depth the organization and the roster lacks at so many key positions.
Was Saquon Barkley the right choice at number 2?
No, he wasn't. And he's a very special player. I mean, the Giants, any team that has him, would be lucky to have him. It's no fault of Barkley's. He's an excellent player. The Giants didn't misevaluate his talent or how good he could or will be, in my opinion. I think they misevaluated where their organization was. And even if you are going to take a great player like Barkley or a position player such as Bradley Chubb or Quentin Nelson in that top 10, I thought Gettleman erred very badly in not taking or making a phone call when they were on the clock at number 2. He was very proud of telling everybody that when Baker Mayfield went to the Browns at 1, he basically told everyone in the room, don't take any calls. We know who we're picking. He would have put the pick in before the 5 minutes in if he was allowed to by NFL rule. But you could have baited the Jets maybe to come up a little bit more because you could talk to teams like the Broncos or the Bills, and you still could have moved back and gotten a quarterback, and you had a lot of other needs, not to mention that a lot of the players he has signed to fill those needs in free agency also have not produced fruit so far for the Giants.
You also have the Sam Darnold effect with the Jets. How much is that going to play into what the Giants do or don't do over the next 5 to 10 years and what the Jets do with Sam Darnold?
No, that's a great question. And really, it's hanging over their head from day one. And we know that Darnold has thrown some interceptions. He's not going to be perfect. But Giants fans who say, well, we wouldn't be any better with Darnold this year, they're missing the point. The idea is that Eli Manning, if the Giants are recognizing the realities here, they had an opportunity to build around a quarterback like Darnold, not only who's talented and optimistic for the future, but also has a low salary cap hit and could have built around a cheap young quarterback like the Rams, like the Eagles, like the Jets now. The Giants are about to go, if they're not careful, and it looks like it may be too late, they're about to enter the sweepstakes annually of signing a free agent quarterback who can help them, or having to go into the draft and getting another one. But will they have a high enough pick like they did this year to get that done? Every time the Jets are preaching how much Darnold is doing and impressing people, every time one of his teammates says how much of a leader he is and how precocious he is, that's another needle in the side of the Giants. And it's not just Darnold, but the fact that he's in this market makes it all the more real for potentially half the Giants erred here. And, they may have to look at a guy like Nick Foles, if he doesn't opt in with the Eagles next year, if he becomes a free agent. Pat Shurmur coached him in Philadelphia. Shurmur's son, Kyle, is a senior at Vanderbilt. Not a projected first-round pick, but these are just the names that you already have to start thinking about. And the Giants have been lucky and fortunate that Eli Manning has been so consistent and been their starter all these years, but it's time to move on, and they should have moved on early, and now they're going to have to really play the market year in and year out.
Is Eli Manning the quarterback of this team by the end of the year?
By the end of this year, yes, because the Giants eliminated anyone really who would have to take his place. By trading Davis Webb, no one's going to be clamoring for Alex Tanney, who has one career start as journeyman backup, to replace him. Kyle Lauletta is a good kid, but has to develop. So he will be the quarterback at the end of the year, but I don't think he will or should be going into next year. He has a $23 million cap hit. The Giants can save on most of it by releasing him before the middle of the spring. And, they have talked like they want him to be the quarterback for next year, and he very well may be. But I don't think he can be or should be for them to be competitive. And I think it would, again, slow down their rebuild into whenever they intend to contend in the future.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV or download the Dan Patrick Show app.